Y hola everybody, hoy es miércoles, el 23 de marzo, son las 5:15 y es la hora para la clase. Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Brooke, did you get a nueva casa? How's that? You got a new house? You found one?
Sí, we close next month, right before we go to Mexico.
Qué bueno. ¿Dónde está en Tacoma?
Milton.
Oh, qué bien. That's where I'm living with mi hermana right now. Whereabouts in Milton?
It's right across from Surprise Lake.
Okay.
It's in my daughter's school district.
Oh, well,
So
I'm off of Taylor Way, so no sé. I don't know if you know. Qué bueno. Bueno. Clase, any anuncios o noticias or anything you want to share before we get going? No? Well, that's Brooks just had all kinds of great news, getting married and now getting a new home and all. That's bravo. And then, Tim, are you just getting back or you're leaving? Are you were going to, was it Colorado?
Arizona.
Arizona.
Sí. Yo visito mi hija en Flagstaff.
A tu hija, qué bueno, qué bueno. ¿Una buena visita?
Sí, muy bueno.
Qué bien, qué bien. Anybody else make any escapes? Well, I escaped. Julana, do you go back to Florida?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Ahora
Yeah.
sí.
No, I was house sitting on Vashon Island for 10 days.
Oh, 10 días en
Muy bonito.
Vashon. Qué
Yeah.
bueno.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I bet. Super. ¿Para una amiga? Was it
No, yes, sí.
amiga o familia o sí?
Amigo.
Ah, qué bien, qué bien, divertido. Okay, so great of you guys. I might have to too. So la clase con Catherine, as you see, I let her do a little freestyle. Y'all, she did un poco más avanzado. There were some things that she presented that when I went to the video, I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't even gotten to that. You know, I told her what we were working on and let her, do, like I said, her own. But you get the gist of it. But things like with the adjectives with Estar and ser, we're not going to be there until I've gone over ser and Estar. Then at that point, we'll get the review with the adjectivos. But it was still so nice. She did I think she did some nice presentaciones. Anybody have any comentario on the lesson, whether you were in the live session or you watched the video?
I thought she was really good.
Sí, Miguel, and gracias por tu participación. I put you off the camera until you're done eating and drinking, only because it's like you're in the middle of my screen and I get distracted. So, bueno. Anybody else? No?
I thought the students did a really good job, and I was sorry I missed it.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Sí. Yeah, no, it was the first class that was was it the first class that you had that was shaky getting going with, oh man, I'm sorry guys. It's a whirlwind. I had a couple different subs and all these videos and things, and I discovered that it was a little more work for me to have a sub than if I had done the class myself. But it was too hard to do from Mexico. So, but I really enjoyed, having them, and yo voy a España en mayo, en los fines de mayo. So the way you say the beginning of or the end of months, For the beginning of, we use the singular. I'll do the little chat here, but I was looking at my settings and playing with the video a little bit here, and for some strange, for some strange reason, the background noise, even though I have the settings low, like I'm hearing all the typing and everything. I don't know if you guys are as well, but I wanted to say, so los fines, no, los principios, I'll send this chat to you. Are you hearing the keyboard real loud when I'm typing? No? Okay. Los principios de mayo is, and then los fines, and of any month. So say the beginning of or the end of los fines de julio, let's just say. So to start talk about my statement was voy a España los fines de mayo, at the end of May. At the end of May, I'm going to go for a bit, and es posible que Catherine enseña una clase al fin de mayo, los fines de mayo, al fin at the end of or los fines de. So, all right. Hola, Reshana. Miguel, are you able to come back on camera on your own, or do I need to?
You need to put me on.
I'm sorry. Lo siento. And there we go. All right, guys. And so, vamos a, before I pull the document up, voy a checar. Let me just check if y'all are recalling some of these. I'm going to say la acción. I might add some things to it. And you guys show me that you know what I'm asking you to do. So, déjenme ver. Let me see you all trabajar en el jardín, which could be the same action, right? Because when I did trabajar, I had to subline. Trabajar. Let me see you practicar voleibol. Ok, muy bien. Déjenme ver, let me see you mirar los pájaros. Yeah, bird watch birds. Y déjenme ver, let me see you bailar la Macarena. Oh, Tim lo sabe bien. Let me see you tocar el saxofono. Oye, el perro quiere tocar el saxofono. Let me see you esconder el dinero. Esconder el dinero. No escuchar, not escuchar. Esconder el dinero. Again, you guys see Tim? I mean, I have it on the gallery view, but I'm asking you to hide the money. Esconder el dinero. Let me see you comer la pizza. Comer la pizza. Let me see you esquiar acuático. Esquiar acuático, which is water ski. Acuático. I'll put that for you. Esquiar oops. Sorry, gotta get my Spanish keyboard on here so I can get that accent on there. You guys know, envision the word acuático where the accent would go on that. Acuático. Esquiar acuático. To water ski. Let me see you cubrir las bocas. You guys, I hadn't actually taught you the word for mouth, but bien, cubrir las bocas. Cover your mouths. Let me see you saltar de alegría. No problema, Reshana, got it. Saltar de alegría, where are them smiles? Jumping for joy. Let me do a couple more here. déjenme ver, let me see you, beber oh, I heard that you guys learned chupito in the last, somebody used the term chupito, I think it was Amanda. Chupito is a shot or a swallow or something. Let me see, tomar un chupito de whiskey. If you're non-drinkers, that's okay. You don't have to. And let me see you recibir un abrazo. Recibir un abrazo. Muy bien. Okay, I'm gonna pull up on the screen now. Some práctica. And we've been working on doing some practice with me gusta, te gusta, and we're gonna go through that. Okay, so un repaso aquí, a little review. Everybody repitan, ¿qué te gusta hacer? So, ¿qué te gusta hacer? What do you like to do? Okay, you guys did some practice with that with Catherine. And I like, repitan, me gusta. Now you heard her say, and this, we'll get to this, but she was saying a mí me gusta. That's not necessary. It's kind of like using a yo with a verb, but we haven't gotten into verb conjugations yet. So, and like I said, you heard her say a mí me gusta, and which just giving extra emphasis or the clarifying the me for I like. Repita, no me gusta, which is I don't like. And what do you like to do? ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Hope you guys are getting that phrase down really well. Okay, it's a good one to know. ¿Qué te gusta hacer? And do you like? ¿Te gusta? So I put some of the expressions that I saw that she used with you, and I added a couple here. We're going to do a little practice with these hoy. Okay, so her nice little video presentation, she had ¿Qué te gusta hacer en el verano? So in your heads, think of it. What do you like to do in the summer? ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Repítame, ¿qué te gusta hacer en la mañana? What do you like to do in the morning? Repitan, ¿qué te gusta hacer en la tarde? What do you like to do in the afternoon? ¿Qué te gusta hacer en la noche? So what do you like to do at night? Now, clase, I want you all to know that con estas tres expresiones, with the three expressions, en la mañana, en la tarde, en la noche, you can also use por instead of en. Okay, so you can use por, either or, but not both of them together. Okay, por la mañana or en la mañana, por la tarde o en la tarde. Okay, and por la noche or en la noche. Sorry, when I changed the Spanish keyword, I got to memorize all these different locations of these keys. Okay, en or por la noche. Okay, but not for these other expressions. Okay, repítanme, ¿qué te gusta hacer en el invierno? So what do you like to do in the winter? And, oh, my mouse is acted up on me. My mouse has got a mind of its own today. ¿Qué te gusta hacer en el invierno? In the winter. ¿Qué te gusta? Now this is going to move my picture, so I'm going to just do it this way. ¿Qué te gusta hacer el fin de semana? Clase, that's asking what do you like to do on the weekend? But if I want to ask what do you like to do on the weekends, think about how you would say that before I type it in here. So, el fin de semana, on the weekend. If I want to say on the weekends, I would say los fines de semana. I'm not going to change the de semana part. I am going to figure out why it types in ñ. El fin de semana or los fines de semana. So on the weekend or on the weekends. Same thing with any of the days of the week. Repítame, ¿qué te gusta hacer el sábado? So what do you like to do on Saturday? Right? Now, if you want to say what do you like to do on Saturdays, then we're going to say ¿qué te gusta hacer los sábados? Okay? Same thing with all the rest of the days of the week. What do you like to do on Monday? ¿Qué te gusta hacer el lunes? ¿Qué te gusta hacer los lunes? Okay, so we'll be doing a little bit of practice with those. Okay. All right, continuamos. This is the video that I threw out there for you a few weeks back, and I'm not quite sure if everybody got to go through it, right? If you did, great. If you didn't, well, these are some of the screenshots from the actual video that has the new verbs that, or some of them aren't really new, but the ones that are mentioned in there. So instead of using the me gusta en el video, the video does en el tiempo libre quiero in free time. Now we could translate to that to in my free time, but in my free time, even though I'm not saying the me. Okay, so here's all the things here. We'll look at them with the pictures first. Repitan bailar. It's not, there's a few that are, you really hopefully have down well because you've seen them so much now. And repitan cocinar. No, let me just go through this list here because they're not in order of the pictures, okay? So, repitan cocinar, is to cook. I'm going to say the expression quiero, I want to. Noting, everybody please, because I saw in the video, and Catherine was really, really, really great, and you guys probably felt super good not getting interrupted by her the way that I interrupt you. I try to interrupt your patterns when you say something incorrectly. You obviously, everybody expressed yourself very well, and she understood everything, okay? But I get a little more technical and like to try to correct it as you're speaking so you don't continue to do it so it's interrupted immediately and you correct the errors. So when you say quiero and you're following it by another verb, the second verb must be in the infinitive form, the form here. Okay, so I can't say quiero bailo. Okay, it's got to be a quiero bailar. So on these, I'm just going to have you guys repeat me, and then I'll say the meaning, and you guys think of the meaning after as I say it. Repitan, quiero bailar. I want to dance. Quiero cocinar. I want to cook. Quiero cuidar las plantas. I want to take care of the plants. Quiero dar un paseo. Quiero dar un paseo, and let me see the picture here. Where is the picture? I don't see a picture of dar un paseo. Dar un paseo is to take a stroll or take a walk. What's that in the? Okay. Well, there's go for dog. All right. Perdón. Y quiero escribir cartas. I want to write letters. Quiero escuchar música. So I want to listen to music. Quiero ir de compras. I want to go shopping. Quiero jugar al ajedrez. Un poco difícil de pronunciar ajedrez. Ajedrez. Quiero jugar al ajedrez. Quiero leer. I want to read. Quiero montar en bicicleta. I'm making it sound like a question. Do I want to ride on a bicycle? Do I want to ride a bike? Montar en bicicleta, to ride a bike. Quiero navegar por internet. So I want to surf the internet, or I want to get on the internet. And then in the actual video, the person said, or to do this, ir, and still a continuation. So if I want to say I want to do this or do this, it still keeps the verb in this infinitive form. So, quiero ir al cine. I want to go to the movies. She showed you some verbs and she got into some conjugations, which I didn't want her to touch the conjugations, which we will be doing soon. But Oh, that's right. I already got you mixed up with another class. I said estar and adjectives, but she's started just throwing out conjugations of irregular verbs to you, going several steps ahead of where we're at right now, which is wonderful for you to see that. It's super great, but I don't want you to feel stressed out like, wait a minute, I don't know anything about verb conjugations because I haven't done those yet. And the irregular verbs, year to go. So, to go to the movies. Repitan esta expresión, pero debo hacer la tarea. So in the video they said, but I should do homework. Deber, you learned. Deber is the verb should, ought to, or to owe. It's used most commonly as a helping verb, meaning coming, or an auxiliary verb, coming in front of another verb, saying should or ought to do something. So, but I should or I ought to do the homework. I should or I ought to take care of the plants. Debo cuidar las plantas. I should or I ought to jog. Debo trotar. So you just say debo, I should, in front of the infinitive. Okay. Repitan. Quiero pintar. Says I want to paint. Quiero salir con los amigos. I want to go out with friends. Now, why is the los in there? It's optional. It's kind of like when I say I want to go out with the dudes, with the pals, like when I would throw a the in there in English as well. So you don't have to use the los. Quiero salir con amigos. I want to go out with friends. I haven't taught you this verb yet either. I'm only working on teaching regular verbs, and later you'll know what I mean by regular, irregular. But ir and hacer and salir are not regular verbs. Repitan, quiero tocar la guitarra. I want to play the guitar. Quiero tomar fotografías. Casi nunca, everybody, casi nunca, almost never will you hear the full fotografías in Spanish. It's usually cut short to fotos. Quiero tomar fotos. Just like we say photos, and I want to take photographs. Not very common. Much more common to say I want to take photos or pictures. Quiero trotar. I want to jog or trot. Quiero ver la tele. I want to watch TV. Clase. Anytime that you see the verb ver, you can replace it with the verb mirar. They're very interchangeable. Ver and mirar. Just that some countries tend to use them. Some over like España uses ver mucho más, pero Mexico uses mirar. So mirar and ver are the same, to see or to watch. Okay. Quiero viajar. See, watch or look at. Okay. Quiero viajar. I want to travel. Quiero visitar museos. So I want to look at museums. Okay, so one more time going through these along with las fotos for you real visual ones, and then we're going to do some practica. And then I am going to actually start a presentation on verb conjugations today. Okay. Repítame, let's just pretend like we like to do all of these and just go through one more time and repeat me as I point to the picture. Or no, don't repeat me. Say it along with me. Say, I like to do this. Here we go. Me gusta tomar fotografías. O me gusta tomar fotos. Me gusta ver la tele. Obviously on the, oh yeah, I guess that's a flat screen TV. Me gusta ir de compras. Me gusta tocar la guitarra. Me gusta bailar. Let me back up here. This ir de compras is to go shopping, but you can just say me gusta comprar, which is I like to shop, which ir is the to-go part. Comprar is just the shopping or buying part. Let's say I like to dance. Me gusta bailar. I like to play chess. Me gusta jugar al ajedrez. Me gusta montar en bicicleta. Me gusta pintar. Me gusta navegar por internet. Me gusta ir al cine. Go to the movies. Me gusta leer. Me gusta viajar. Me gusta escribir cartas. These last ones, these last two, and on the last picture here, we're going to ask the question, do you like? Te gusta, make it a question. Do you like to take care of plants? Here we go. Te gusta cuidar las plantas? Te gusta cocinar? Te gusta visitar museos? ¿Te gusta salir con los amigos? ¿Te gusta trotar? Ah, there's the dar un paseo. Dar un paseo is take a stroll or walk. Trotar is to jog. Bien. ¿Te gusta dar un paseo? Okay, practicamos. I wanted to really get in some good practice with the ones from that video because we've done the other ones quite a bit. So let's do with some expressions here. I'm going to give you a minute to think of these, but let me run through. If I'll leave them on the screen here, but follow me first real quick in my example, and then I'm going to have you compose your own share. So I said todo junto, all together. Clase. Todo junto is not the same as saying everyone together, meaning all of us together, is todos juntos. When I said all together, todo junto, I'm putting the expression together in a sentence. But when I want to say all of us, let's do it together, todos juntos. Okay, so todo junto, all together, I'm putting it all together, but we're not going to be doing these everybody together. We'll have you do them individually. Repitan, ¿qué te gusta hacer? So I'm going to have you tell me what you like to do for two of these expressions, either en el verano, in the summer, en la mañana, en la tarde, en la noche, en el invierno, en el fin, oh, sorry, not en, there's not going to be an en here, el fin de semana, el sábado. And back, Rayshawn, I did see your question in chat, it's just I haven't had a chance to get to it. Yes, you can use only for these expressions here, these three, instead of using en, you can use por. Mainly in Mexico, they use en, but many other countries, you're going to hear a por. If it's general, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, it's going to be either en or por, okay? And then you can't use a por with en el invierno. You can't use a por with any of the other ones if it's not in yellow here, okay? You could use por instead of the en. And then you're never going to use an en for el fin de semana or el sábado, but you can make them plural, right? I talked about that. You can do los fines de semana on the weekends and los sábados on Saturdays. Okay, so for any of these, I'm going to have you tell me what you like to do for two of the expressions above with two of the verbs below. Yes, I know you have so many other interests, but I want to practice these specific verbs first, okay? And of course, we're going to be learning a ton of new verbs, and we'll get to expressing those as well. Okay, so mi ejemplo, my example, and you're putting it together in a full sentence. Okay, first one I chose one of the wins, and then I put the two things I like to do, and then I continue my sentence by choosing another win and adding two more things. So you're going to have a long sentence to share with us. El fin de semana me gusta salir con amigos y trotar en el parque. So on the weekend, and I could have also said los fines de semana, on the weekends, I like to go out with friends and to jog in the park. And en la noche, or por la noche, me gusta jugar al ajedrez con mi hermana y hacer la tarea. Por supuesto. The expression for some of you guys here, por supuesto. So, and at night, I like to play chess with my sister and to do homework, of course, por supuesto. Okay, so let me give you guys a couple minutes here to compose your long sentence, and I'll listen to those. We'll share them and doctor them up if necessary. Okay, leave this on the screen here for you. Gracias. You don't have to send them in chat. We're gonna be sharing those. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I'm gonna give you one more minute though. If you're done, you can try to spice your sentence up a little, your lengthy sentence up a little bit, or make it an extra sentence. I'm going to take this off the screen in a minute, so let me go ahead and send it to you in chat in case you don't have it. Oops. Send it to everybody. Okay, clase, I'm going to take this off of the screen. And I sent it to you in the chat as well. Sorry, Rayshon, you got it twice. Okay. And voluntario. Let me come back on camera here. Okay. Voluntario para compartir su frase. And I'm not going to do the written. I'm not going to type it out. I'm not going to let people see the written, but I'm going to have you read your sentence. And then I will probably say it back or make corrections to it. And then you give the translation to it and see if what everybody else is thinking, if everybody else has the proper translation. Okay. Voluntario. Okay, we're going to get Juliana first, but let me get the rest of you guys. Who wants to go segundo? Jenna, tercero. Miguel, cuarto. Amanda, and then Brooke, quinto. And then Tim, sexto. And yeah, oh, that's right, Rishana. I'll share your sentence. Thank you. That's what you sent in chat. Sorry, I'm not on top of things tonight. Bueno, Juliana.
Okay.
Frase, por favor.
In
Lisa, I'm sorry, Lisa, I didn't say your name. Lisa, you're going to be going last. Go ahead, Juliana.
En el verano me gusta montar en bicicleta y tomar fotografías. Y en el invierno me gusta.
No en verano, invierno.
En el invierno me gusta visitar museos y leer.
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 Muy bien. So I'm going to repeat in the third person, everybody. You're going to be hearing me say, a Juliana le gusta. Le gusta is the way to say that he or she likes. When I say a Juliana, I'm telling you specifically Juliana likes. Clase, en el verano, a Juliana le gusta montar en bicicleta y tomar fotos. Y en el invierno le gusta visitar museos y leer. Go ahead and give us your translation, Juliana.
In the summer, I like to ride a bike and take photographs. And in the winter, I like to visit museums and read.
Muy bien, excelente, muchas gracias. Jenna.
En el verano me gusta trotar en el parque y montar en bicicleta. Montar en bicicleta, y en la noche me gusta escuchar música y navegar por internet.
Muy bien, navegar.
Navegar.
Navegar, muy bien.
Navegar.
Clase. A Jenna en el verano le gusta trotar en el parque y montar en bicicleta. Y en la noche o por la noche le gusta escuchar música y navegar en la internet. Y bien, ¿tu traducción?
In the summer, I like to jog in the park and ride my bike. And in the nighttime, I like to listen to music and search the internet.
Muy bien. I said navegar en la internet, and or you could, the expression that was given is navegar por internet. So either one works. Excelente. Muchas gracias, Miguel.
En el verano me gusta montar en bicicleta y trotar en el parque, y en el sábado me gusta
No and for those ones. No and for
en.
the
Oh,
never
no en.
and never and in front of the days of the week. It's always just going to be the article el, and that will mean on that day. So
Y el sábado me gusta leer y ir al cine con cine con mi esposa.
muy bien, excelente. Clase en el verano a Miguel le gusta montar en bicicleta y trotar en el parque con su esposa, because that's what she indicated she likes to do as well. Y el sábado le gusta leer y ir al cine con su esposa. ¿Tu traducción, Miguel?
In the summer, I like to ride my bike and jog in the park. And on Saturday, I like to read and go to the movies with my wife.
Excelente, muchas gracias, Amanda.
Por la noche me gusta bailar y escuchar música al conciertos.
What are you trying to say with al? En conciertos.
At concerts?
En. Al means to the. En conciertos. So can you start again? Por la noche.
Por la noche me gusta bailar y escuchar música en conciertos. En el verano me gusta cuidar las plantas y dar un paseo con mi esposo en el parque.
Ay, qué bien. Bueno, you guys listen to my third person here when I tell you back. But you said paseo en el parque?
Yeah.
Okay. So, a Amanda, por la noche le gusta bailar y escuchar música en los conciertos. Y en el verano le gusta cuidar las plantas y dar paseos en el parque con su esposo. No, so she said mi esposo, and just to review, going back to third person with her husband, con su esposo. ¿Y tu traducción, Amanda?
In the evening, I like to dance and listen to music at concerts. In the summer, I like to take care of my plants, and take walks with my spouse in the park.
Excelente, muchas gracias. Brooke.
Los fines de semana me gusta trotar y cocinar. Sienna.
I'm sorry. I got really distracted here, so I'm trying to document what you're saying. So you said what you said. Los fines de semana. What do you say? Los fines de semana.
Los fines de semana.
Let me hear you say me gusta instead of me. Me gusta.
Me gusta.
Go ahead from there.
Trotar y cocinar. Sienna.
I know it's a tough one not to put an extra N in there. A lot of people do that because they're used to hearing con, but it's just cocinar.
Cocinar.
Okay.
Sienna.
La cena. La cena.
La cena.
Bien, bien.
En el verano.
Wait. Verano or I don't know if you're saying summer or winter, because summer is verano and winter is invierno. So are you trying to say verano?
Summer. Verano.
Muy bien. Just, yeah. Great.
Me gusta escuchar música. Escuchar música. I can't read my own writing. Música. And then salar con amigos.
Y salir.
Y salir.
Con amigos. There you go. Yeah. Salir. Salir. It's an I verb, so you might have written it as an AR. Okay, muy bien. Clase, a Brooke, los fines de semana le gusta tratar y cocinar la cena. Trotar y cocinar la cena. Y en el verano le gusta escuchar música y salir con sus amigos o con amigos. ¿Tu traducción?
On the weekends, I like to run and cook dinner. And then in the summer, I like to listen to music and hang out with my friends.
Muy bien, gracias. Tim, before you go, I want to share with you guys Rayshana. She's just listening in tonight, but she said this to me, and so I'm going to read it to you in the third person, telling you about her. So, Rayshana, a veces, bueno, a Rayshana, el fin de semana, a veces le gusta escribir cartas para su familia y sus amigos. Y en el verano le gusta mucho bailar con sus hermanas. She didn't put two for summer, but that's okay. I'm going to repeat that so you guys can get it all figured out. So, Arishana el fin de semana, a veces le gusta escribir cartas para su familia y sus amigos. Y en el verano le gusta mucho bailar con sus hermanas. So, Rayshana on the weekend, sometimes she likes to write letters for her family and her friends. And in the summer, she really likes to dance with her sisters. Muy bien. Okay. Timoteo.
En la mañana me gusta cocinar desayuno y dar un paseo con mi esposa.
Esposa.
Y en la noche.
En la mañana cocinar desayuno y what repeat that last one.
Sí, y dar un paseo con mi esposa.
Okay, just one. Okay.
Y en la noche me gusta escuchar música de guitarra y jugar al ajedrez.
Ajedrez. So it's tough ones to say nice though. Clase ATM. En la mañana le gusta cocinar el desayuno, dar un paseo con su esposa y en la noche le gusta escuchar música de guitarra y jugar al ajedrez. Tim, ¿tu traducción?
In the morning, I like to cook breakfast and go for a walk, I suppose, with my spouse. And in the night, I like to listen to guitar music and play chess.
So I know you're doing the automatic in the night, but if you're going to use the translation in English, then you can use evening because that's the way, because en la noche means at night or in the evening. At night or in the evening. Okay. Y so does por la noche, at night or in the evening. Excelente, muchas gracias. Tenemos séptimo. You notice how I was giving you the ordinal numbers? I had primero, segundo, tercero, cuarto, quinto, sexto. We haven't learned those yet, but at least you're hearing them now. And seventh is séptimo. Actually, it would be octavo. Séptimo. I did Rayshana says you are octavo. 8. Lisa.
Okay, por la noche me gusta.
Perdón, noche. See, that's
No,
me.
oh, I'm sorry. Noche, por la noche me gusta leer los libros. In the evening, I like to read
Por
books.
favor, no traduzcas, por favor. You're going to say your
Oh.
whole thing, and then I'm going to repeat it.
Oh,
just
I'm sorry. Okay.
person.
En el verano me gusta dar un
Lo siento,
paseo.
perdóname. Did you give another action with the por la noche? I heard you say por la noche me gusta leer los libros.
No,
I
I can do two if you want.
do want you to do too.
Okay, por la noche me gusta leer los libros y cuidar las plantas. En el verano me gusta dar un paseo y me gusta comprar.
Or ir de compras. Muy bien.
Compras, sorry.
I love your pronunciation of the verano. Perfecto. Yo repito, so I'm going to just give it back to everybody in the third person, tell them about you, and then you're going to give us your translation. So,
Okay.
a Lisa, por la noche le gusta leer los libros y cuidar las plantas. Y en el verano le gusta dar un paseo y comprar o ir de compras. Bueno, tu traducción ahora.
In the evening, I like to read books and take care of plants. In the summer, I like to go for walks and go shopping.
Excelente. Muy bien.
Thank you.
Todo. Ajá. All right. Anybody have any preguntas on that?
I do. Is it what? Is it correct to say in el fin semana
No.
as well as los fines de semana?
No.
No.
It's either el fin de semana or los fines de semana. Everybody. And this is something I'm gonna have to continue to repeat as we move on, because we are so used to, and does mean on, it also means at, okay? But not with the days of the week. When you use the article with the days of the week or the weekends to say the expression on the weekends, you only use the article el with it. So el fin de semana or los fines de semana is on the weekends. You're not ever gonna use an en with that.
Okay, no in. Thank
Never
you.
en el fin de semana clase, never en los fines de semana, never en el sábado, never in los lunes. Is no en front of those. It's just going to be el or los. Okay. Bueno, ¿y tu pregunta, Juliana?
Could you just go through the le gusta again?
What do you mean?
I mean, it means, you said third person, and
So me gusta, I like, te gusta, you like, le gusta, he or she likes.
He or she likes.
I was just in you. This right now, since you just have to memorize those short expressions. Later, after we learn what the me, te, le actually is, then we'll learn very specifics about the verb gustar. For now, at least those three expressions will get you by knowing if somebody says le gusta, they're referring to he, she, or you formal. Okay, so that could be a you formal like le gusta as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Otra pregunta, Jim, Timoteo, and then Amanda.
I was wondering, I'm not sure that it came up here exactly, but I see sometimes when we're writing sentences, we'll say like la mañana, and then sometimes there's a la, like there's an a that comes before the la. Does that make sense? No?
There's never an a la mañana.
Okay, that might just be my
There's
misreading
an
something.
por la mañana, but there's never an a la mañana.
Well, I didn't necessarily mean mañana, that word. I just mean like that construction.
I need a little more specific.
Okay, I'll find something more specific and ask later.
Because is the preposition that means to. It's a directional preposition.
Okay.
So if I'm going to a place, and after we get into the verb to go, we'll learn that a lot more. It's very easy to want to use to mean at. Okay, so but an is at location, and it's extra easy to want to use to mean at, because only means at a certain time. We haven't done a lesson on time. So if I say a las dos, I'm saying at 2 o'clock. But if I'm saying at the restaurant, I have to say en el restaurante. En is a preposition of location.
So it'd be like, yo visito a la Flagstaff.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't even use an article of yo visito. No,
No,
because
sí,
it
no.
means
Okay.
to. You could say I go to Flagstaff, which
Sí.
is voy a Flagstaff. And when
Sí.
we get into the verb to go, then it's going to get a lot more clear to you. Right now, you just got to settle for some confusion on
Yeah.
it.
No problema.
We're used to settling for confusion on a lot of things until I get to the actual presentation of the grammatical structure of it all. And then it all's like, oh, that finally makes sense to me. Rather than just you saying it because you've memorized it, it's kind of nice to know the grammatical workings of it, because then you can start producing more and more and more on your own. Okay. Bueno, continuamos. Otra pregunta. Oh, I think Amanda had a pregunta, and then Julania. But
Yeah, mine kind of piggybacked off of what Tim was asking, specifically in regard to jugar al ajedrez.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
one is what like throws me off.
Pull that back up, guys. This is I get it now. Let me pull this back up on the screen and address that, because it's really a royal pain in the behind, to be honest. Playing a sport or playing a game is usually jugar with the expression, I mean, grammatically, technically correct is using an in there. What is that al? Well, when we get into the verb here, you'll know, but el combines always to be al. And la doesn't combine. We'll get to that. But the expression to play something is usually jugar al, if it's a masculine noun, or jugar a, if it's a feminine noun, grammatically correct, but people do not speak like that. So, and I don't even do it. If you're so much that most people will say jugar el ajedrez. We'll just use the article. So usually with sports, jugar al basquetbol or al baloncesto or jugar al béisbol. That's the grammatically correct way to do it, but most people don't speak grammatically correctly, and you're going, the colloquial, what you're going to hear is just simply jugar el béisbol, jugar el basketball. So that's just basically an idiom with the verb to play something is jugar a, but most people don't use that a. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's what it's doing there. A mí no me gusta. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That a is in there because it just confuses people. Otra pregunta? Sí, Juliana?
Can you hear me?
Sí.
Salir is hang out.
No, salir is to go out, but
To go out.
it's a loose translation. Salir con is to go out with or to hang out with, right? Because you don't. The actual word in Spanish to hang is colgar, but you're gonna get a laugh from native speakers if you say colgar con los amigos, because colgar is literally like to be hanging from something, literally, and it's an idiom in English. So, all right, otra pregunta. Nope. Okay. I think that you guys are coming up with lots of questions because you're not ready to start conjugating, are you? Of course we are. Okay. Well, we're just going to start with some basics here. And let me get rid of this chat, close chat. And I think because the new format now that I'm doing with the videos, I rather than having it record and save on the computer, it's recording to the cloud and I upload it from there. And since I've changed format, the videos are actually showing the chat portion as well. So like you should be able to see as I'm going through in the chat. And the other cool thing about the new recordings in the cloud and uploading it is now on the YouTube videos, you're going to see the timestamp, the actual time. So I don't have to say, well, go 20 minutes into the video. You can go to the time marker now. So while you're taking class, if there's something that's just like, whoosh, I need to make sure I go back to that part in the video and review it, just look at the time, jot down the time, and then you can always fast forward to that in the videos. But I think that the setting right now is the military is a 24-hour clock. I got to go back and play with that. Okay, so that'll get you to practice your military time, your 24-hour clock time. All right. Bueno, here we go. I know that, first of all, I have to say that I was a little bit surprised Catherine got confused with infinitives and verb conjugations. Okay, infinitives are the only things we've worked on so far, which are that full form of the verb to say to do something, not say somebody is doing something. So I said, we're working on infinitives, continue working on infinitives with them. And she started presenting the verb conjugations as if they were infinitives. And hopefully you guys are following me on this. An infinitive, let's review. We're going to be doing conjugating now, okay? I'm going to be adding a bunch of videos into the YouTube playlist, very short videos that are going to recap what I'm covering right here, okay? In fact, she showed you one, I think, but she jumps right in with some of your regular verb conjugations, but we're going to learn the regular ones first. So this is, with all of these, a total of 12 minutes of videos. For the IR verb one, I'm asking you to stop at 2 minutes and 37 seconds because it starts going into regular verbs and I only want to work on, it starts going into irregular verbs and I only want to work on regular for now. So the infinitive is only what we've learned so far. We put all the actions to the infinitives. We didn't say I do this. We didn't say he does this. We didn't say we do this. Once we start saying that somebody does it, it's called conjugating. We're putting the subject along with the verb form. Okay, so to conjugate, it means to change the verb from the infinitive form, which ends in R. Here's my infinitive, hablar, comer, vivir. That's the infinitive, okay? And it is translated to do whatever the action is. To speak, to eat, to live. Okay, but so it's to change, conjugate is to change the verb from that infinitive form to match the subject of who is doing the action. So rather than saying to speak, I'm going to say he speaks. Rather than saying to eat, I'm going to say you all eat. Rather than saying to live, I'm going to say you formal live. Okay, so we need to know some terms in Spanish. We need to know that the term ending, the parts of the verb, there's two parts of the verb. Two parts of infinitives. The ending, which is called la terminación in Spanish. Everybody repitan. La terminación. La terminación. There are three verb endings in Spanish. For infinitives, right? There are three kinds of verbs. There's AR verbs, ER verbs, IR verbs. Those are your endings. And then everything before that is called the stem or la raíz. Repitan, la raíz. So, la terminación AR, la terminación ER, la terminación IR. La raíz habla, la raíz com, la raíz be. Okay? To conjugate a regular verb, to change the verb to match the subject, that's what conjugating is, to change the verb to match the subject. Get that ingrained in your head. Conjugating is to change the verb to match the subject. You keep the stem, la raíz, everything in green here, and you add the ending. So you're going to take off the AR, ER, IR and add the following endings depending on what kind of verb it is. Okay. Right now, we're not working on memorizing all these. We're working on just getting an understanding of how conjugations work, and then we're going to go full speed ahead with our conjugations. Okay. Regular AR verbs, las terminaciones. Before we do those, let's review los sujetos. Es muy, muy, muy importante to know very well your subjects. We learned those 10 in order. We did yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. But let me review the ones that are going to cause the most grief. The 4 U's in Spanish. Tú, remember, that's why I'm having you point when you do tú, is the informal U. Informal U, okay? Usted, the formal U. Vosotros, you all, Spain. Remember when I just put plural, PL plural. You, or you could say you all or all y'all, Spain. I only want using vosotros if I say in parentheses Spain. Otherwise, the you all, the other you all that's used everywhere else is ustedes. Ustedes. Okay? So we had anyway, so we have all those 10 subjects. Yo, tú, él, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. We did some good practice on those when we were first learning them. I haven't been reviewing them a whole lot, but hopefully they've stuck in your long-term memory at this point. So la otra cosa, the other thing is, remember when I presented the subjects, you may or may not, I'm just going to remind you, that I laid them out in boxes like this, yo, tú, él, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ustedes, and told you that the boxes, the way that they're laid out, does not correspond exactly with point of view. It corresponds with the way they're going to match the verb form. What do I mean by that? If I had laid those subjects out by point of view, then usted would have been up here with tú, because usted and tú are both you, singular, informal. So if it were by point of view, this would be the singular, first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, and if it were second person singular, usted would go up into this box. The plurals, first person plural, second person plural means ustedes would go up here, and third person plural is they or they females. The nice thing about learning Spanish is to get a little review on some of the English grammar as well, and that's why 3 of you are yawning. It's true, there was 3 of you on my screen yawning at the same time. No, trust me. Wait, you guys are never going to see anybody yawn so much until I conjugate over and over and over and over with you guys, and with all, I mean, I've conjugated probably a million times, which makes me yawn. Oh, now I'm gonna yawn because I'm talking about it. Okay. Bueno, clase. So what's going to be important is to, as quickly as possible, learn which verb ending goes with which subject. If it's an AR verb, everybody repítame, yo, o. Okay? The AR ending for you is tú, us. For he, she, or you formal, él, ella, usted, a. For we, nosotros, amos. For you all, Spain, tough one here. This is the diphthong AI, which is pronounced I. AI is I. If you ever doubt that, then think of a word like bailar. Bailar. I. Okay? And it's not IEs. It's not accented on the I. It's accented on the letter A. Okay? So, and it's pronounced ice. Ice. And I'll go through hablar here in a second with the conjugations. And then if it's ellos, ellas, ustedes, my subject, my ending is on. Ellos, ellas, ustedes, on. I do in the future, so questions that you're going to get so used to hearing me say and so used to responding to. I will ask you, clase, ¿cuáles son las terminaciones de los verbos a, ere? You don't have to get it all right now, but I just said, what are the verb endings for AR verbs? And you would just say to me, you can give me the 6 AR verb endings in order. O, as, a, amos, ais, on. I'm not going to write that question out just yet, but you will see it written several times. And then I'll ask, ¿cuáles son las terminaciones de los verbos a, ere con los sujetos? What are the AR verb endings with the subjects? And you will be practicing enough that you could just say to me real quickly, yo, o, tú, as, él, ella, usted, a, nosotros, amos, vosotros, ais, ellos, ellas, ustedes, on. I'm just prepping you for where we're going, okay? If that is sounding, if I'm going super quick, it's just simply because we're starting here and that's where I'm going to be taking you, and you're, trust me, just from working with all my classes, you're going to be able to respond to those, okay? Moving on to conjugating an AR verb. I have the verb hablar. So I'm going to apply what I just talked to you about. I'm going to keep the stem the same, okay, which means I'm cutting off on all the AR verbs. I'm cutting off that AR and adding those endings, o, as, a, amos, ais, on, depending on the subject, okay? So here, if you look now, I have hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. I have the 6 conjugated verb forms. Everybody repítanme. I speak. Yo hablo. I will tell you right away, and a couple of you guys already know from having practiced with conjugations before, es muy, muy difícil poner el énfasis en el lugar correcto. It's very difficult to put the emphasis in the correct spot. Why? Your brain is focusing on learning the endings. So you want to stress the ending. And so I'm going to hear many of you guys say hablo, hablas, habla. No, absolutamente no. It's not hablo, hablas, habla. Why? Because words in Spanish that end in an N, S, or a vowel are naturally stressed on the second to last syllable. What's the second to last syllable? It's right here. So the word emphasis is hablo. You hear the difference between hablo and hablo? And this second to last syllable is here, hablas. Hear the difference between hablas and hablas, right? And this is going to be habla. So it's going to require, especially for those of you who have dificultades with it, some people have no problem. They get the stress in the right spot because your brains work a little different and you're hearing it and you're able to reproduce quite well what I'm saying. And others, it's really hard. You have to work a little extra at it. But I do provide oral conjugations. And sometimes, even though you're not focusing on meaning, it's nice to just keep listening to the conjugations so you know the proper pronunciation and where the emphasis goes. Everybody, repitan. I speak, yo hablo. You speak, tú hablas. He, she, or you formal speak, él, ella, usted habla. Now, of course, I'm not going to say them all at once, but they all take the same verb form, and it's going to be important, muy importante, for you to give me a subject, okay? He speaks, él habla. She speaks, ella habla. You formal speak, usted habla. But for the purpose of conjugating, since they use the same form, I usually have you say the 3 subjects and then the form, okay? I have to tell you, I'm just gonna light those up there. Those 4, everybody, just kind of look at it, let it seep into your brains. You never have to state the subject pronoun, the yo, the tú, nosotros, or vosotros, in front of the verb form for those 4. Why? Because that ending only has that one subject that goes with it, and it automatically tells me whom you're speaking of. So if you say hablo instead of yo hablo, I already know you're saying I speak. If you say hablas instead of tú hablas, I already know you're saying you speak. If you say hablamos instead of nosotros hablamos, I know you're saying we speak. And if you say habláis instead of vosotros habláis, I know you're saying you all Spain speak. Well, what the heck? So why are they even used? Well, sometimes they're used for extra emphasis. Sometimes they're used for just because they want to use them in front. And sometimes for clarity, breaking things down. Because we know, nosotros, we, I can break it down a step and say, mi hermana y yo, my sister and I. That represents we, right? So then I would use that subject in front of that verb form. Okay, and la otra cosa is sometimes people like to just talk about themselves. I've heard I have a Spanish speaking friend who never drops the yo, who always uses the yo in front, and it's almost unheard of to always use yo. So yo hablo, yo bailo, yo. I do this and this, right? It's not necessary. All right, of course I'm gonna do lots of practice and get back into that. So here, let's go where I left off again. Everybody, we speak. Nosotros hablamos. You all Spain speak. Vosotros habláis. They females, or you all speak. Ellos, ellas, ustedes hablan. So we are going to eventually get to the point where I say, clase, ¿cuáles son las seis formas, the 6 forms. What are the 6 forms? Or cuáles son las conjugaciones, or what are the conjugations del verbo hablar, of the verb to speak? And you'll say hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan, habla, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll ask you to elaborate even more, and I will say, ¿cuáles son las conjugaciones, or las 6 formas? What are the conjugations or the 6 forms del verbo hablar con los sujetos, with the subjects? And you'll say, you can follow me with your eyes, or you can read them along with me. Yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla, nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis, ellos, ellas, ustedes hablan. All right, I just presented how to conjugate regular AR verbs. This document is already in the documents folder. I actually think I did for class. If not, it will be there. Now, same concept. So I get to speed up here on these. Same concept, except for the endings are going to change a little bit, depending on if it's an ER verb or an IR verb. Okay, so same thing with the conjugating. You take the stem and then you add the ending. But if it's an ER verb, what's important is to get your sounds right with that letter E. The A is ah, so the conjugation's o, as, ah, almost, ice on. You're hearing the whole way through, except for the yo form. Okay, now you're going to hear a the whole way through, instead of, except for the yo form. Okay, for all the verbs, AR, ER, and IR verbs, the yo form is the same. Oh, but the other ones you'll see there are some differences. Okay, so the conjugation endings are o, ace, a, amos, ace. Wait, I should have put that up there too. Ace, ain. Okay, ace, not ace. Okay, but ace. Once again, you're hearing a. It's an ER verb. It's the verb er. You're hearing a. Some people try to change it when we get over here to ice, right? But it's a. All the way through. O, ace, a, amos, ace, en. Together with me with the subjects, everybody. Yo, o, tú, es, él, ella, usted, nosotros, hemos, vosotros, es, ellos, ellas, ustedes, en. If you have your AR conjugation endings down, o, as, a, amos, ice, on, then everywhere you're seeing the letter a, you replace with the letter a. The letter a, you replace the letter a with the letter e. So everywhere, I'm saying this in Spanish, you see the letter a, you replace it with the letter a, right? The letter a is letter e. Conjugations of the verb comer, everybody repitan, I eat. I'm going to put the subjects in front of these. Repitan, yo como. You eat, tú comes. He, she, or you formal eat, él, ella, usted come. We eat, nosotros comemos. You all, Spain, eat, vosotros coméis. They females, you all, I'm sorry. They females, and you all eat, ellos, ellas, ustedes comen. Let me toss out those fast questions for you, and like I said, I'll have them written and we'll go back and break them down. But ¿cuáles son las conjugaciones del verbo comer? And we're just going to say these 6 forms together. Here we go. Como, comes, come, comemos, coméis, comen. I'm emphasizing here. Como, comes, come, comemos. This one gets emphasized here because that's the second to last syllable. This one gets emphasized on the end because it's accented and it tells you to emphasize here. Coméis. And this one on the O. Comen. La C. La única diferencia, the only difference in sound between these two, because this also is ace and this is ace, is where the emphasis is. I want you to hear these. Comes, coméis. Comes, coméis. Comes, coméis. Right? That's the only difference between the to form and the vosotros form orally, is where that emphasis goes, because there's no difference in the sound of the EI, which is that diphthong A, and the letter E. There's no difference in sound. They're both A, because the letter E sucks up the sound of that letter I. Okay. Bueno, y para los verbos de IR, the IR verbs. So, IR verbs, the endings son los mismos, are the same as the ER verb endings, excepto las formas de nosotros and vosotros, except for the nosotros and vosotros forms. It's an IR verb, it's going to get emos and es, but all the other forms, the endings are the same as the ER verbs. Right? So you're going to be o, es, e, imos, is, ain. O, es, e, imos, is, ain. So with me with the subjects, yo, o, tú, es, él, ella, usted, e, nosotros, imos, vosotros, is, ellos, ellas, ustedes, ain. O, es, e, imos, is, ain. The verb to live is going to sound like, actually, repítame, and I'm going to highly emphasize where the natural or where the word stress goes. Repitan, vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, vivís, viven, viven. Okay, with me with the subjects, con los sujetos. Yo vivo, tú vives, él, ella, usted vive, nosotros vivimos, vosotros vivís, ellos, ellas, ustedes viven. Okay? I hope that the color codes have helped a little bit on this document, or that they will help, right? You're going to be receiving this. But what will be even more helpful is for you to watch. This is what I'm assigning for tarea, for you to watch. Oh, by the way, I only got 3 people notifying me about that checklist for class that you completed it. Gracias a ustedes. You guys that didn't do it, go back and do it. So 3 videos for the conjugating. First one's talking about basically everything I went through, recaps it, but it's nice to hear it recapped in a different way. And then the next 3 go into the specifics for AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. Okay, really, 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 really want you to review this document, go through these videos for tarea, because we're going to go, like I said, full speed ahead with working on conjugating those regular verbs that I've already presented to you. So we're going to be doing, I'll say, ¿cuáles son las conjugaciones del verbo cocinar? And you'll say, cocino, cocinas, cocina, cocinamos, cocináis, cocinan. That's futuro. After you review and you have a good idea of how these work, which hopefully you have a good idea now that I've gone through that. Okay, so go ahead and come off of mute, everybody. Whew, your brains hurt? I like to get your brains hurting once a week, and then the next day that's recuperating and building stronger. Bueno, clase, preguntas, dudas, comentarios, anuncios o noticias. Questions, doubts, comments, news or announcements. I know we did a couple announcements already. No?
I got nothing.
I see how thrilled to me. I think that I go more slowly than a lot of teachers, or if you were to take classes in college, it's like, not only do you have to learn conjugations for regular verbs, like, within a week, you have to learn all the different tenses as well, and mixing those is absurd, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
So I'm going to go slow with our tenses. Why? Because if you perfect the present tense and you learn many, many verbs and irregular verbs, then no matter what, you can express yourself. Because if I happen to say, if I'm trying to say I ate tacos yesterday, but I don't know how to say I ate, because right now we're only working on the present tense to say I eat, which I'm going to go back through and make sure you're clear on that we're doing only present right now.
Okay.
But if I were to say to you, como tacos deliciosos ayer, I'm using the present tense, but you get the gist of what I'm saying, that I ate delicious tacos yesterday, right? Because I threw in the term ayer. So, the goal is to get you speaking and understanding the conjugations well before we move you into the other tenses. And it's going to take some time to get through the many verbs and constructions in the present tense. So we'll go slow but fast. Fast as we conjugate, but slow as I present the term. Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Ya
Adios.
bajamos la colina. It's downhill now. La colina's the hill. Hoy es miércoles. Ya bajamos. No.
Okay.
Adiós, buenas noches.
Adios.
Bye.
Adios.
Buenas noches.